So ChatGPT 5 is going to be coming out soon. It's overdue, to be honest. Sam Altman said it would be released a while ago. In a tweet, he said he suspects late March or early April as the release date for ChatGPT 5. And it is came and gone. So that could hint at a couple different things, but I'm going to go through what I think and all of what has been released and what we've been told so far about ChatGPT 5, and you can come to your own conclusions about if you want to be excited or not. I'm semi-excited. I don't know how much this ChatGPT 5 will bring. So first off, I have this spreadsheet that I made. It's about 100 models when they released and the company name. And the point of what I was trying to do is graph like the amount of models that were released over time. And I got this looking graph. It is, a little all over the place, but it's going down slowly. Less models are being able to be released, and that's for two reasons. One, models are slowly hitting a brick wall, and so they can't get so much better. That's one, because training them is getting increasingly harder because they're just having to be made bigger and bigger and bigger. And then the second part of that is we're running into a bottleneck with how much information we have to train these neural networks, and we've used all of it. So what's left is to relearn over the information that we've already learned on, and that produces model hallucination. So when you relearn the same data, it just like internalizes things, and it's like a game of telephone, and you're just learning information multiple times over, and it's not good. So we're hitting the bottleneck for two reasons. And then I corroborated my little graph here with this graph that I found on Reddit, and it looks about right. If you look, here's the peak in 2024, and then on my graph, the peak is also in 2024, and also during the beginning of 2024, right around here. Yeah, you can see the peak is here during the beginning of 2024, and then it's the same. So I don't know. I think I did a good job. So here I've got I've got three tabs, about three different companies telling us that they are, not able to make a better model, basically. So if you remember, Llama 4 came out a while ago, and they released three different models along with that. So they've released, I think, Scout, and then one other one, and then Behemoth. And then Behemoth was supposed to be this humongous model, 2 trillion parameters, but they postponed it because it is apparently not beating any benchmarks. So there's no point in releasing it yet, or maybe they're trying to, but the delay is embarrassing because Meta is the company that previously had made some bold claims saying Llama 4 Behemoth outperforms basically every industry-leading model, and then they just never released it. Google, this was an article from a while ago, but they talked about how they were having trouble training their new models. They're having trouble making progress. Apple, you don't even name an Apple LLM. You can't, because they gave up. So there's that. And then here's a website that just talks about why is ChatGPT not able to improve much further. And this just talks about how we're reaching the limit to the information that we have access to, and how insanely expensive it is. Okay, so now onto ChatGPT and what the actual features are that we're gonna be looking to see. So ChatGPT 5 is completely different from 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 4.5, and 4.0, and every other weird model that they've released. This is different because instead of just making a model that's supposed to be smarter or faster and make images, they are combining all the models together into one like conglomeration of models. And I think for technical users, that's not going to give a lot of gains in the performance sector. I think for people who don't know what they're talking about or what they're doing with AI, I think this is going to be a big help, because people don't know whether to use 03 or 4.0. They don't know the difference between those two, but there's like a humongous difference. And so it would just be helpful if they had one model, and then they just got to ask it all of their questions, and then it figures out which model to give their query to. We've also seen some leaks as spotted by Tybor on X. He found click, drag, type, and terminal feed in an Android beta release. And so what that hints at is maybe they're giving ChatGPT the ability to click, drag, type, and look at a terminal feed. So those are things that they would need to give ChatGPT in order for it to operate a computer, stuff like that. And then I also found this leak on Reddit. Now, leaks are weird because people could just easily make all of this stuff up. And I think some of these things sound really stupid, especially number 4. No, not 4, 5. 5 sounds stupid. Creative psychedelic model rumors swirl of a mode that goes full dream logic. I don't know what that means, but here again is the autonomous agent thing that has to do with the click, link, or click, drag, and type stuff. And then what else is interesting? The 4 was actually one of the interesting ones, emotion aware. So you can like talk to it and it'll be able to understand if you're happy or sad or something. That's scary. But I don't see how that could come by smushing together a bunch of models. So I kind of doubt that one. Self-improving prompts. This is stupid to put on this list because we've had self-improving prompts for a while now. That's what every thinking model is. It just thinks about what you're asking, and then, before actually doing what you asked, it expands on it. Another thing that we've been told is that everybody's going to get free messages, unlimited free messages, but that's not, amazing, because as people are, saying in this Reddit thread, people obviously they're not going to give you unlimited like O3 access like the thinking models. Just like they're not going to give you unrestricted ChatGPT5 access. So what it's going to be is more like it gives you ChatGPT5, but it's on some like lower like power level. And so when you ask it a question, it's never going to use its highest power level. And so it's not going to give it to like O3 or O4 or something like that. It's just going to use the smaller models that we already have unlimited access to. So it's really not a change. And then I'm looking at the leaderboards and I'm going to make some predictions about how it's going to do. So for the reasoning, I think it might beat Gemini 2.5. I have some pretty high expectations. I think it will. For coding, it's not going to beat it. Not even close. I think Claude's got this on lock right now. It's kind of crazy how on lock they've got it. Like this model, Claude 3.7, that came out like last summer. It came out exactly a year ago, I think. So, and it's still beating the second best company by a small margin, but it's still crazy. Best in high school math, I think it's going to take it. Best in tool use, if what we see over here is true, click, drag, type, all this stuff, it's going to be like operator-like. I think it could jump to the top of this benchmark category also. The rest of this is just, it's not, none of the rest of that matters. So yeah, that's all we know so far about ChatGPT 5. I am kind of excited, not really. I don't think it's going to be a push forward in what LLMs are capable of. I think possibly it's just going to help people who don't really know what they're doing, which is good because I guess that opens it up to more people. But I know what model I would want to use, so I'm not super excited. But yeah, that's all we know. Thanks for listening. Next time.